Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah, the lovely Leah, and Michelle.
The lovely Michelle.
But that doesn't... That's
the
not...
magnificent Michelle. The moving Michelle.
You have to... the moving?
The marvelous Michelle.
The alliteration.
Yeah, my computer's covered with little black hairs.
So...
It's going to be a great episode.
Today is the 16th of August. It's a Friday. It's our weekly roundup.
And I couldn't fit that in the title. You guys have clean up.
He's got All-American Sanitation, and I own a company called Gruntworks and Fitzhugh Custom Apparel. And you know, part of what we do is disaster relief after hurricanes and floods and everything like that. And obviously, John having a sanitation company,
it seems
they deal with trash. So we kind of put our heads together, and John's idea to
kind of clean up.
Let's travel around the country and pick different areas that we can clean up. And you know, so we started with here. Obviously, Baltimore has been a hot topic recently. We're not here for any type of political, you know, activism or anything like that. It's just our love for America is so much that we think every American deserves to live in a trash-free environment.
That's good. Every American does deserve that.
Wait, you need to see this because they rescued people from an overdose.
Get out.
Yeah.
Stay down. Bro, you best you do. Yeah, so we were setting up. Actually, this was the first street we started on. Looked behind us, and a couple of gentlemen walked past us, obviously being affected by some type of narcotic. Being a police officer myself, I knew it pretty much right away. Looked over, and all of a sudden they were just not in good shape, and eventually face down on the ground or leaned up against a curb, stopped breathing, checked for pulse, very weak, and we were able to get some Narcan from one of the locals here and administer that and keep an eye on them until they were brought back. Luckily, we were able to stay with them until they were able to walk away on their own before the next got here. But there was definitely a period of time where essentially they had passed and then brought back with the use of the Narcan. We're here until Saturday afternoon.
So they literally saved people's lives.
That's crazy.
Well
done. Bravo.
Up. Yeah. So there's some good news there.
I love good news.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I love good news too. Let's see. Nope, not that. No, don't play. Don't play. Don't play. Don't play. So here's another commercial break.
Okay.
Stop.
That's
Stop.
the
Stop.
same one.
Stop. Stop.
The same one.
Stop. Stop. Okay, so, I don't normally cover this stuff, but when it's the fake news media,
I have no idea where this is going.
You guys know this guy. His name is Don Lemon.
Oh my gosh, no, not Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. Don Lemon has been accused of sexually assaulting someone, a straight guy.
Are you serious? Did I hear about this?
Did I didn't spell it right. How do you spell it?
Lemon.
That's what I thought.
It's Lemon.
Yeah.
Like lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon. Le.
That's
not
Lomen. Lemon.
Lemon. It's like lemon. Literally, it's lemon, but it's lemon. Don Lemon.
Okay. So this man here, I'm not sure if this is the boss of the guy who says that he was sexually accosted by Don Lemon, but Chris Cuomo is a CNN host already under fire for threatening people and saying that if you call me Fredo, which is the dumb Italian guy in The Godfather, then that's
equivalent as using the N-word.
Even though he came out and
I don't think
said,
there is anything as equivalent as using the N-word.
No, and he came out and said his dad used to call him Fredo. It's like a thing among Italians.
And the footage, somebody compiled footage of him having, there goes your hat there, having guests on his show that said that word and used it, and he didn't seem to take offense. Like, how dare you call Don Jr. that?
So the salacious details I'm not going to get into, but because you can go read it yourself, it's pretty gross.
Oh,
but I suppose
it's just an accusation at this point.
Well, it's more than an accusation.
Okay,
because this guy and his boss went to this little bar, this little pub.
That's a pub?
Yeah.
It looks like a house.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Sag Harbor, New York. And it's
Murphs.
a place you go after, I guess, all the other bars shut down. And they went up to Don Lemon and said, "Hey, Don," and he thought he was being accosted. And he said, "I just want to buy you a drink." Well, Don Lemon came back over and said, "What? Do you like me or something? Like, do you like me?" And then he says, "Are you into girls or boys?" But he's very vulgar about it. And then he proceeds to do some weird thing.
In public.
Now, the boss thought it was funny. But the guy, he always knew that the guy was really upset about it. So much so, the whole community knew about it. And when he would go to bars, they would give him lemon drop shots. So everybody knew about what happened. So it wasn't hidden. It wasn't this guy just making this up by himself. His boss is coming out saying, "I feel bad now for making fun of him." Because he came up and he told me exactly what happened. And I heard him saying some of these things. And I kind of saw what happened. And he's like, but I didn't think much of it because he's Don Lemon, maybe he's gay, and maybe that's how gay people try to pick people up. I don't know.
But that doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay.
So
will Don Lemon face the same scrutiny as if he had done that to a woman? If he had done it to a woman, his head would be on a chopping block. You would never see or hear from him again. Right. But because he did it to a man, it's like gay people get off with things more because but gay people do things differently.
Okay, but I'm really curious because I hate to I don't know, in this Me Too movement, the guy didn't report it as sexual harassment.
No, he didn't report it, but he told everybody what happened
and so okay. So he's not trying to press charges. He's not trying to say, listen, this was such a big deal that he
pressing charges now.
Oh, how long ago did it happen?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. Okay. I don't think it's the statute of limitations is there.
Okay.
The former boss of a bartender who earlier this week filed an explosive lawsuit against CNN host Don Lemon,
he's filing a lawsuit.
Accusing the newsman of a strange sexually charged assault, told Fox News he witnessed the incident and corroborated his one-time employee's claim.
Okay.
George Goulas, who managed some other bar. So yeah, we'll see how far this goes because you have people backing you up. You have you have a witness. You have the whole community hearing about what happened.
But here's the thing: if a straight white male gets sexually assaulted
by a black guy,
you're guilty. It's your fault that you didn't go along with it.
Maybe. Right. So Chris Cuomo threatens to throw a guy down the stairs. April Ryan, this black lady, here's a contributor. She had a bodyguard assault a journalist. I'm not going into that, but there's video of it. It just don't feel like it's important right now. But I want to tell. There's another commercial break here. The Proud Boys released an official statement because Portland officials target them, arrest the conservative pro-rally patriots before Saturday's rally. They've not arrested Antifa. They have not arrested the people who went after Andy Ngo. And the mayor said that we're going to go after him. We're going after him. We're not going light on Antifa. But they went and preemptively arrested conservatives. There was a fight, and fight is actually what got Gavin McInnes, I think, taken off of his show, and then subsequently taken off of all social media. But what's interesting about it is that I don't know of any of the Antifa members who got in this fight. It was a brawl between Antifa and Proud Boys. And supposedly it actually started with the Antifa people throwing beer bottles at the Trump crew, and then they fought back. And now people who didn't do anything are being arrested. Ian Kramer is in custody on multiple felony charges. Matthew Dean Cooper originally faced misdemeanors of harassment and disorderly conduct, but now faces felony for riot. Mackenzie Lewis was arrested by the U.S. Marshals on a charge for riot. And now the Patriot Prayer leader, Joey Gibson, is now being charged with riot. Another person, Russell Schultz, was also picked up by the U.S. Marshals in Washington. Witnesses say Schultz was just standing around and didn't do anything. Others were there but not taking part, such as independent media, and are now concerned that they will be arrested as well. So here's their official statement. Following an embarrassing and impotent performance on Fox News, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler has decided to randomly pursue criminal charges against right-leaning political activists in the days leading up to the August 17th in domestic terrorism rally aimed at drawing attention to the documented and deranged violent tactics of Antifa. This coordinated Gestapo-style roundup of free speech advocates is not a mistake or randomly timed. Considering the lack of arrests or warrants issued for dozens of violent Antifa domestic terrorists still at large from previous melees, these disturbing movements prove an underlying political motivation for the recent actions from the Portland mayor and Portland Police Bureau. Wheeler refused to name the domestic terror group by name on his Fox News interview, but claimed that the Portland Police Bureau was still investigating Antifa's brutal beating of a gay journalist, which left him hospitalized with a brain bleed. Despite a mountain of evidence and Rose City Antifa claiming responsibility for the gay bashing, no warrants have been issued and no arrests made. Antifa has been allowed to run roughshod over law enforcement and the citizens of Portland for years, using their fists and blunt force objects to bludgeon their opponents into silence or self-imposed exile from subsequent political gatherings for fear of ending up in a body bag or forever maimed at the hands of the black masked psychopaths. Just recently, an Antifa-obsessed and alt-left linked madman killed 9 people and injured more with a dozen in Dayton shooting. On Thursday, the Portland Police Bureau falsely claimed on Twitter that it had been unable to coordinate with the organizers of the domestic terrorism rally, despite organizers having already begun communication with the liaison officer. While the organizers of the domestic terrorism rally remain steadfast in their support for law enforcement officers, putting such dubious claims out to the public serve no purpose. Unfortunately, it looks like an Antifa sympathizer or a politically motivated public relations staffer with the Portland Police Bureau is intent on creating a cloud of confusion surrounding Saturday's gathering. They're not terrorists. They're not racist.
Wow.
The Proud Boys have a long history of defending rallygoers and draining local bars of their beers and booze. We will have several prominent constitutional law attorneys on standby this weekend in the event that Antifa or the Portland Police Bureau infringe on our constitutionally protected right to assemble peacefully. So, I wanted to get that out for you guys, because I feel like this is no bueno. No stinking bueno. Here's time for a small...
So, Britt Baza says Antifa should be prescribed, or I think you mean just... labeled as a terrorist group in the Western nations. I could not agree with you more. They definitely are a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
And Boss Torres says, like in Minority Report, when you're preemptively arresting people for crimes that they have not committed. Now, the only way you can do that is if you have evidence that they have conspired to commit a crime.
Right.
And I don't think they had that sort of evidence on the Proud Boys.
Yeah. Exactly.
To do that. So that's what makes it so wrong.
Here's your other commercial break, because I'm going to get to something really important towards the end here. We ran a little late, so I'm going to go a little late. Snopes.
Oh boy. This should be good.
Yeah. Let me see if I got to find it. I think I might have to do a little Snopes. It's really funny.
Stuart the Brit says, what is interesting to watch is how the left are turning against each other and their own morals. And it is getting kind of crazy. Kelly says, YouTube is getting crazy over racist stuff, yet they can show these nasty things, like the XXX things. Well said.
Okay, so this was Snopes 7 hours ago. Stories published by the Babylon Bee were among the most shared and factually inaccurate content in almost every survey of this research. Too many people think satirical news is real.
Okay, though. Wait a minute. Because I think there's been 2 times before I knew that the Babylon Bee was satire that I read the articles and thought to myself, this can't be true. Like, this is insane. Like, usually their articles are something that I want to be true. And so I kind of get, like, excited. And I think you had to, like, deflate my balloon. So they kind of have a point, because sometimes people do believe the Babylon Bee.
Well, if you actually go to each article and you read it, it says satire.
Right. I know.
It says it.
But you don't... You know what happens when you open up an article? You're just kind of skimming to get the meat of it. Like, what is this thing? You don't,
Snopes strikes deal with Netflix to provide on-screen fact checks for fictional shows and movies.
That's satire. That's really funny.
So,
Al Park says the Babylon Bee is hilarious. I could not agree more. They are great. I love reading their articles. They bring fun to this otherwise dark and dreary world. I kind of want our channel to be a little bit Babylon Bee-ish-esque. You know, whenever I describe our channel to other people who've never heard of it, I say it's political commentary with sarcasm thrown in. And I think that we have neglected the sarcasm part of late. And I feel like as an ingredient, as a recipe for something that would, like, if you're going to bake the same cake, you should make sure that it always has the equal amount of... Do you think it's there?
It's always there.
I don't feel like it has been there as much as it should be. Women who don't believe
Israel has a right to exist, not sure why they got banned from Israel. Well, okay, here you go. Yesterday's article in the Wall Street Journal, not Snopes, was that Trump had floated the idea of buying Greenland.
No.
And then Greenland had to come out and say, we're not for sale, but we're open for business.
Stop it.
So everybody was hashtagging Greenland regime change. So this from the Babylon Bee.
Oh, this is great.
There have been rumors that President Trump was considering buying Greenland, and Trump has now confirmed those rumors, revealing that he sees it as a great money-making opportunity if the U.S. purchases the world's largest island, fixes it up, and then sells it at a much higher price. Look at it. It's prime real estate. It's on the very desirable Upper West Side, you know, of the Prime Meridian. And if we just modernize it a bit, that's going to be some valuable property. I'm going to split the profits from selling it with the American people 60-40. Trump says his first plan will be to get rid of the giant glacier in the middle of Greenland. That used to be popular, but it's out of style now. He plans to replace it all with ultra fancy hardwood floors. In addition, he plans to maybe put up some shiplap on an island, add an island, and upgrade the bathrooms. He's looking at opening it up into more of an open concept feel with some farmhouse sinks and a more rustic feel. The president has reportedly hired Chip and Joanna Gaines to help with the upgrades. They previously worked with him to put some shiplap on the southern border wall. Democrats, however, are opposed, as they are usually against all of Trump's awesome schemes, like his tax cuts and his robot force, a fighting force made entirely of robots. I don't know if I trust the market to not collapse soon, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said. Plus, with the sheer volume of hardwood floors he's taking, we'd basically have to deforest all of Brazil. Trump is undaunted, though, and was last seen at his local credit union applying for a loan pre-approval, so he'll be ready to buy Greenland from Norway or Finland or whatever.
And from what I've heard, it's going to become a tropical getaway. So if you want to, like, be in your swimsuit and swim in the beach and let your hair down, then that's where you can go, because Trump's all about that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure in Greenland, where it's totally green all the time, very lush and green, that's exactly his plan.
I will say this. Trump did say at his rally, it's not the gun that pulls the trigger.
And very true.
I feel like that is really important.
It is. Okay, remember, guys, we love you. God loves you. God bless. If you want to send us your letters, P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. We will read them on air unless otherwise notified. So we'll see you back here on Sunday, 2 days from now, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European and UK news. It's going to be a good show. Britt Baza has been telling me in the chat that he sent us a message that it would seem that Farage, your favorite Brit and mine, has taken up the flagship of fighting the Islamification of the UK. That should be very interesting. I can't wait to check that out. So we shall see. All right, you guys. Good night. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday and Saturday, and we'll see you Sunday. It's cold.